Hey Capricorn, it's Angela. Here we are doing your July 2022 Capricorn Sun, Moon, and Rising Soul Guidance reading. And what we do here is we read intuitively. It's not predictive or anything external in your life. This is there's always an opportunity to gain from these soul guidance readings, no matter what sign you are and no matter what video you're watching, because what we're doing is tapping into certain aspects of ourselves and calling attention to them so that we can transform and heal and then thrive, right? And we're working on, aspect by aspect of ourselves as we make our way through these readings. I usually will pull one oracle for guidance as far as like a theme or a topic to focus on. And for you, Capricorn, well, all of us use this deck, the Goddess Love deck. And for Capricorn, I pulled rest. It says, be still and listen. So for some of you, this could mean a need to physically slow down, like your body is just taking on too much, maybe not enough sleep, too much activity, too much work, and that creates stress. We need the rest in order to recharge and rejuvenate ourselves. For some of you, this could be energetic rest. This could be mental. It could be spiritual. It could be emotional. Somehow there needs to be a sort of slowing down and some care applied to a certain aspect of yourself that has been, maybe neglected or going too fast for too long. Okay, so let's see what the Zen cards have to say for us, Capricorn. We have here your starting point, sort of the reflection of this card of this rest, and we got for you guidance. So sometimes when we aren't fully aligned and following our inner guide, right, our intuition or the little nudges, our gut reaction, whatever you want to call it, but they're all our inner guide. And when we're not attuned to this and just sort of reacting to things in life and, instead of absorbing things that happen to us and then responding accordingly, according to our intuition, sometimes we react in order to push it away. If something doesn't feel good, we want to, run from it or kick it away or ignore it. And our inner guide does not want us to do that. Our inner guide wants us to take each situation and each occurrence that happens and move with it, move with the energy that's present. And if we spend too much time ignoring our inner guide and really just being reactive in our outer world, then that spins us out. That gets us to the point where we're exhausted. So that inner guide is a beautiful first start, because this is what the one thing to always remember, right? In any circumstance, if we're meeting a new person for the first time and we get a little inner vibe, like, oh, that person's speaking to me, but I don't believe a word they're saying, right? Like you may get a sense that they're not being truthful. Listen to that. Listen to that. That is, now it doesn't mean you go and blurt out, hey, you're a liar, whatever, but just store that data, take that in, understand it, and then store it and keep it on hand, right? Your inner guide takes you through all our aspects of being, but it's really important to make sure we're always aware of it. And when we're not, like I said, we can sometimes get imbalanced, and then it requires that we pull off and start, rest a little bit and recharge and start over again. The internal card here, this is internal support to this card of remembering our inner guide, is ordinariness. Yep, this is what the rest is calling for. Let's get some simplicity back. Let's, not burn the candle at both ends and stay awake till 3 a.m. and then wake up at 5 ready to go again for the next day. Let's make sure our body, rests so that our mind can rest, so that we can be present in our day-to-day life. And we can, you know, be on that daily nature walk and really take in the sights. And even though it seems like a simplistic thing, you know, those patterns and those sort of, you know, chop wood, carry water vibes that, as the Buddhists say, those repetitive or you know, regularly scheduled required tasks that we do are important. And so, you know, that keeps us in our flow, that keeps us, you know, balanced and less in need of that rest. But let's just make sure that we are attuning to those foundational practices that we have to keep us going, to keep us moving through our days, right? Those foundational, regular practices, whether this is your prayer, your meditation time, if you take a nature walk every day, if you know, spend 10 minutes every evening speaking to your loved ones, you know, call your mom, kind of a thing. Those are what keep your life on track and keep you from spinning out and getting, you know, too spread too thin, so that you're getting to a point where you require the rest. So this is just a reminder to keep those things in practice, because that's part of your daily flow, right? And in the external position, well, this couldn't be written any better. I pulled slowing down. So rest, slowing down, this is all kind of going together, right? It's all going together. This is just a reminder for you. We're not in a race. We're not in a hurry. Yes, sometimes it requires me to step up my pace because maybe I have deadlines at work, or I'm up against, you know, I'm planning a birthday party and it's going to be here in a week and I've got to, you know, get a lot done within that week and all that. And that's okay. Those moments are what we rest for, right? We slow down and pace ourselves, move through the ordinariness, slow down, right? Follow our inner guide. We do all that so that we can shore up the energy for when we need it, for when we need to exert ourselves and move through a deadline. But we should not be moving at that pace all the time, right? That's for select moments in our life when we really need to throw the energy toward it. Mostly we need this sort of foundational base of ordinariness. You know, it seems boring, but that's the fuel that keeps us energized and able to attack these other high energy issues that come up. So important to stay in pace. Okay, now this card here is going to be your key to moving forward to this new level of consciousness and this new way of seeing it, or this, you know, new way of approaching the need for rest. Okay. Yeah, so we got morality. So there we go. This is look how uncomfortable this woman looks. She's like bound up in these metal brackets, and I'm guessing that's a woman. I don't know, it could be a man, this figure. Really stuck. There's a lot of like dark clouds and a lot of framework, a lot of like angular framework around this image. Hands tied together, held in place. You know, there is no room for anything beyond good or bad, right or wrong, black or white, right? This is a mental construct. This is, we tell ourselves, we put the judgment onto situations and things and people and ideas. We put that judgment on and says, you know, this is bad, that is good. This is desirable, that is not, right? This tires us out. This is a lot of mental energy. And maybe for some of you, the part of you that needs to rest is that sort of judgmental aspect that we all have, but maybe it's a little louder for you right now. And we need to back off that a little bit in order to transform it, right? And then as we start to get more higher consciousness aware, you know, like coming from a different level and seeing things from a high vibration, we start to realize that this thing here, this right and wrong, good and bad, you know, this whole mental judgment process is really totally bogus. Like there's no, I mean, this is on an energetic level, right? This isn't like, oh, that's a murderer and that's not a bad thing, right? That's the human condition. I'm talking about spiritually and energetically. And even, yeah, if there's somebody that's, creating havoc and applying violence to people and ending lives and, like a murderer, there's, there's, of course, that's bad and wrong. Okay. And in waking world and in the way that, our laws are built or whatever, I'm not going to get into that too far, but there is a right and wrong because of the way that certain things are written and guidelines that are written for us. But internally, and this morality thing, I'm talking about energy here and the way we approach things in our life. And even if this is never anything you speak out loud to someone, it's still what's going on within you. And the judgments and the thoughts that you utilize within you in your mind, that takes up energy and it takes up space. And is that how you want to spend your energetic space, right? Within? That morality card is in direct contrast to your inner guide, and it's laying right below it. So it's kind of like the one block that needs to be removed in order for your inner guide to be able to operate freely. It's the key to moving forward to your next level of awareness, because what needs to happen is we need to call attention to those spaces where we judge and we, categorize things in our mind as good, bad, important, not important. That's where what we need to sort of stop dropping off. This is energetically now, remember. And then we have less energy spent on those things that, really are counter to our inner guide. Our inner being just wants us to move smoothly with the energy that we're given, filled with love and joy and connection and compassion with others. That's what our inner being wants. That's that God space within us. That's our source, our soul. We're the creator, whatever word you want to use, but that's what really could be guiding you through all your decisions, day in and day out. But this gets in the way. Our mind, our mental aspect. Oh, but that's bad and that's wrong. Well, let's try to remember that. Let's just call attention to it and try to quiet that judgy part of our minds, because it is expending energy that we don't need to expend. And then it's creating a situation where we need to rest, right? Because we have too much going on in our minds. Okay, so that's the key to moving forward, is to start to call attention to and drop as many of our judgments as we can, right? And then just making sure we have a strong foundation for our daily life that is, predictable and life affirming, and helps recharge our batteries that we need every day. Okay, now we arrive at this upper level of awareness. And what do we have? Oh yeah, all good. It's all good. So now once we're able to call attention to those things that are the important building blocks for us, and that we are able to drop away those judgments, we are now in the zone. Now we're focused. Now this call for rest is making a lot of sense. Now it's like, you know what? I'm going to focus on one thing at a time instead of juggling it all. Even though you have a lot to accomplish, right, in your waking life, how much can you really do at once, right? And when you're doing that one thing, be all the way in it, right? This totality card is showing these acrobats. They're in their little trick. They're midair in the trick, getting ready to hand off to the next person. If they're thinking about, oh yeah, the next trick's coming, and the next trick, I'm going to have to be able to stand up and do the whatever, they're going to lose their zone. They're going to be out of this very moment. They may miss, the hands may miss each other if, they're not totally in that. So when you are, busy and juggling a lot of things, and, that sometimes requires us to get to a place where we've got to rest, right? When you've got so much going on, you're still only able to apply yourself to one thing at a time. And when you are, it's that full focus, present moment. What can I do right now in order to transform this? That's the key there, is being in the zone. And this could also be spiritually and energetically. Oh yeah, I've been able to rest my body. My body was starting to feel tired, and now I've been able to rest it. Now I feel a little more balanced to be able to move forward. And I'm going to try to maintain that balance, right? By focusing, on mind, body, spirit, and making sure they're all getting the attention they need, so that it doesn't get to a point where, oh, I got to really slow it down, right? Be deliberate in your actions is probably all I'm trying to say. Okay. And then internally, the support that comes with this totality card, this card of deliberate action, is transformation. And this is internal. This is within you. You start to feel the shifts. Okay, I'm going to slow it down. I'm going to rest. I'm going to slow down my pace. I'm going to be deliberate about my day. And then these real big energy sucking activities and connections and relationships that require a lot from me, I'll be ready for them because I have my foundation now. Now within you, you start to get, oh yeah, this is a new way of doing it. And this may work, right? I may want to, hang on to this little pattern because it's really shifting the way I see things, and it's shifting my presence in, any of my interactions or goals or tasks and things that I have to get done. It's really shifting the way I show up. Okay, so you start to get that, right? That undying focus is what really is going to help transform it. And then your overall outcome, or the card that defines the reading for you, is the maturity card. And this is your wisdom. This is all that you're gaining from these experiences and from this guidance and from attuning to the places in you that need the rest, and honoring it and taking the time out, and asking for help when you need it, and making sure your foundational activities are steady and uplifting and fulfilling. You start to pick apart as you experience life more and more. You start to really be able to identify the things that really matter most versus the things that you could sort of leave away. And that comes with maturity and experience. And I'll clue you in, the things that really, really matter the most in this life are a very short list, right? We tend to think, oh, it matters that I have friends, and it matters that what matters is your love that you're receiving and giving, connection to others, and your well-being. And this rest is like at the top of the list, right, of your well-being. So you're starting to get this. Life becomes simpler, but more fulfilling and richer when you start to tap into those aspects that are really, truly important. And that's the guidance. All right. Well, Capricorn, I hope this helped. I hope that it clicked for some of you. And yeah, it's been good. It's been good being back. I've been back for a few months now, and I'm really loving it. And thank you guys for being here. Keep it going. Like and subscribe and share my videos and do all those things. And it keeps me on here and engaged with you. All right. I love you guys. See you soon.